Hello everyone, my name's Taylor and I'm one of the external students for this unit. I'm currently studying from Tennant Creek in the Northern Territory. I chose to do my research on the radio industry in Tennant Creek and the surrounding areas around Tennant Creek. So, as many of you may know, Tennant Creek is a town located in the Northern Territory, approximately 1,000 kilometres south of Darwin, with a population of around 3,000 people, and over half of the population is Indigenous. We have very limited shops and entertainment services, so radio is such a big thing in towns like Tennant Creek and the surrounding Indigenous communities, as we are very isolated. Radio connects us and the many other smaller remote communities of the Barkly to the major towns such as Alice Springs and Darwin. Tennant Creek does not physically have a radio station here, but we get frequencies from other radio stations such as Darwin and Alice Springs, and sometimes Mount Isa as well. These radio stations include Vision Radio, that's a Christian radio, Tourist Gold, tourist information including 50s and 70s hits, 8CCC is a community outback broadcasting station, Flow FM, a remote commercials radio, Triple J, ABC Classic, ABC from Darwin and Alice Springs, 8Kin FM, also known as Karma Radio, which is an Indigenous community radio, and we have the NT-Tab Racing Narrowcast. Majority of these stations are based in Alice Springs, however. So in researching the radio industry, I have decided to focus on the very well-known radio station Karma Radio. I will talk about how Karma Radio came about, the meaning of Karma, the history and funding, programs and training they provide for the community, and of course where they are broadcasting from. Living in Tennant Creek has exposed me to the rich Indigenous culture. I work for an Aboriginal health corporation called Anani in the public health section, and on an everyday-to-day basis we do listen to our local radio station Karma, which is similar to Radio Larrakia in Darwin, as many of you may know or are familiar with. Karma Radio is also known as the Central Australian Aboriginal Media Association, where it broadcasts through the Central Australian region. So Karma is the largest Aboriginal media organisation in the country, along with 8Kin FM. It was established in 1980 by two Aboriginal people, John Macumba and Frida Glynn, and their associate Philip Addy. Karma is known to have the second largest audience in Australia. According to the Community Broadcasting Association's national survey, Karma has over 60,000 listeners in the Northern Territory and over 600,000 around the country. Karma broadcasts both in English and many Aboriginal languages, where they deliver their own daily news service and feature a range of current affairs. It offers music and programming in Artanda, Pindinjara, Luditja and Warlpiri, and today Karma broadcasts in half a dozen more Indigenous languages, reaching communities across Australia. So the Karma logo represents the birth of Aboriginal radio. The central circles represent the physical location of Karma in Alice Springs, where it is surrounded by Central Australian Aboriginal communities. The lines radiating from these circles show the two-way flow of stories between Karma and the communities. The dots located on the left of the logo show the footsteps of Aboriginal people who have walked to this land since time. Karma plays a major role in the maintenance of Indigenous language and culture. The social agreement is to use the mediums of radio and television to provide Aboriginal people a strong voice in the development of country, culture, politics and education, and to use broadcasting, arts and sciences to capture cultural disintegration, to empower people and to bring inspiration to their lives. So this is just a little photo story of Karma's development as a new building. Over the years, Karma had grown and spread its many departments in various locations around Alice Springs. The photo shown on the slide is the building they discovered in 1993. There are 3 identical radio studios in the Karma building. It also includes a smaller, more basic 4th studio for BRACS training. BRACS stands for Broadcast Remote Aboriginal Community Scheme. You can see that in the bottom middle photo. All studios can be switched to on air and have full intercom and tie lines fitted as well. The new building now houses 3 separate radio studios, including a smaller 4th studio, a music recording studio, a multi-use soundstage, a video production house, a shop, a warehouse, a tape library, and the Karma administration offices. It also is a part of the major shareholder of Imparja Television. So the photo in the top right corner is one of the Karma branches in Hermannsburg, which is approximately 120 kilometres from the Karma studio in Alice Springs. Hermannsburg is an Aboriginal community in the Larapinta ward of the McDonald Shire. There are now 14 remote broadcasting studios in communities. Karma Radio 8 FM station is supported by the Australian Government through the Indigenous Broadcasting Program (IBP). Karma Radio is one of the most innovative and effective Indigenous broadcasting services in Australia. However, it is also in danger due to lack of appropriate government financial support. Since July 2004, Karma receives an annual grant through IBP. However, being the only source of funds within government to support Karma's core ongoing activities, the funding and activities has now been reduced to 46%. The reduction is having a devastating effect on Karma. Most administrative support positions have been removed from the station. Training programs have been cut, resulting in the lack of education for young Indigenous people. Staff are undertaking fewer field trips, and also recording music for broadcasting has almost ceased. Lack of funding is also creating OH&S issues at transmitter sites. So Karma runs many request shows so they can connect to the community in personal ways. Most remote communities did not have access to any sort of telephone services, so therefore Karma provided people in towns with a way to send out music and greetings to relations living in other parts of Central Australia. One example of a request show Karma runs is the Green Bush Show. Aboriginal people are overrepresented in the prison system and are extremely isolated from their families. However, Karma Radio began a special prison request show that has kept prisoners in touch with their loved ones. The program runs every Sunday from 8 to 12 a.m. In 2005, they have actually released a drama feature film that goes for 25 minutes about the Green Bush program run by Karma. RIBS, known as Remote Indigenous Broadcasting Service, is another program run by Karma where it broadcasts from Monday to Saturday between 2 to 4 p.m. The station's commitment to remote broadcasting is central to its philosophy, and that its station is funded to provide support to a number of RIBS studios and broadcasters on remote communities. The station has remote operators that alternate to deliver a 2-hour show presented by Aboriginal languages where it can be heard over the Karma network. Another program Karma runs is called Strong Voices, where their flagship magazine program provides listeners with up-to-date Aboriginal current affairs daily. You can listen to Karma Radio live through their website, and they also have some podcasts available for the public to listen to as well. There are many programs I love to listen to through Karma. It's very laid back, it's culturally appropriate, it's easy to listen to, and it's suitable for all ages. I think they have more errors than any other radio, but it's always a laugh as they joke around with it as well. My favourite radio host is Patrick Arquette, but he calls himself Uncle Don Don or Brown Sugar. He is known to have one of the brightest personalities on Karma Radio, and he runs a lunchtime gig and takes requests. I have one sample for you to listen to from the lunchtime gig with Uncle Don Don, just so you can get the feel of the atmosphere.
Oh, bit of diesel there, we're tip of my tongue. We'll finish the weather update for some Townsend MT, Catherine. Yeah, a little bit cloudy, sitting on a nice 35. Big shout out to my old man there, my brother Macarius, and all my nieces and nephews who love listening to a bit of Uncle Don Don, Owen and Caden. Hope you're being good for Mother Bear. Big shout out to all our listeners there at Man and Greta, Matt Liebeck, and everyone at Oak Valley. Coming up now, bit of James Blunt with 1973. Big shout out to Gap News, and if you're tuned in, the CAFL office there, Katie Dean and the crew, and everyone working hard at Congress.
So that concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.